You said something about marketing as from an educational standpoint, and how physicians are so well positioned to be able to do that because you have the expertise.
Well, I think eyeballs on social media, which is the majority of marketing and advertising these days, people are either drawn to entertainment or education. We have seen in medicine, entertainment, goofiness, it does not work. It attracts the wrong kind of ideas from the people and downplays the severity. And we're seeing more physicians losing medical licenses for things they're doing on social media, but people are drawn to entertainment or education. Tell them about medicine, tell them about surgery. And I do think you see amazing social media accounts from things like on toe fungus to like all these things that you think can be interesting to learn about. And you're like captivated because some doctor somewhere figured out a way to tell that story in a way that's like captivating.
Yeah, and that is a skill set right there.
It is a skill set, but you can go and hire people to help you. And you may not be the most bombastic, outgoing personality and look great on camera and this and that, but that doesn't matter. As long as you continue to keep trying and keep doing, and you'll be able to communicate with people that you want to.
Yeah. One of the differences I think between entrepreneurship and practicing medicine, or at least the culture of medicine, it's like in entrepreneurship and in marketing, especially, it's like failing forward. In fact, like with marketing, it's like, let's see how many times we can fail faster so that we can get to the solution quicker.
Well, the old marketing joke is like, I know half of my marketing works. I just don't know which half.
Right. I would go with like a quarter.
People know something's working because you're getting clients, but most people have no idea whether it's their pay-per-click, their radio, their TV, their this, that, or the other.
Yeah, so you got to develop that muscle. That's a little bit of a different. I mean, I think if you're hyper perfectionist, you're going to have a hard time being an entrepreneur. And I think in a lot of physicians struggle with perfectionism. That's going to make marketing challenging, I would say.
Yeah, you have to be moving forward. Like if it's perfect, it's probably 2 years too late. I know like they say that in a lot of the entrepreneurial books, like you got to get things moving and you want to be willing and able to grow and pivot on the fly.
I know you already have a big practice and you're continuing to build it. Does the money come into it? Like, is that part of the motivation, or a big motivation, or all the motivation? Like,
One of the amazing things of having children is like your DNA lives on forever, your legacy. So, and if your life is basically your personal and your professional life, and to me, if I can do like, what's the version of like having kids at work? It's recruiting surgeons and growing their careers. And that to me is legacy, which could be around a lot longer than we are, which
mm,
gives meaning and purpose to the time we are here.
yeah, when you start to employ people, you start to impact their livelihood. And
Well, just pure enjoyment of life. Like when you see your kid walk for the first time, it's amazing. When you see the surgeon that you found, like at a residency or fellowship, do like something amazing, you get that like same dopamine rush, and like you can keep doing that much easier than keep having kids. So,
yeah, yeah, and they have a better return on investment too. I mean,
well,
dollars wise, but
correct. But I mean, that's the main part of it. Is just another way to enjoy the professional life.
is your goal to be just continue to grow as long as, I mean, what are you building?
I'd like to grow something that's just essentially self-sufficient, where there can be more of like a law firm where there's just a constant evolution forever. I mean, my dream would be that there's some place that has my name on it, some
Hmm.
place that I created and started that just kind of goes on forever. That's kind of my ultimate goal. Size wise, I don't know if we go to different cities, different states, you start, as Alexander the Great, you lose control of your kingdom as soon as you can't touch it. So you got to be careful with your expansion. If I think there's a total different skill set of building a business and scaling a business, that's a whole new world. One of the things I always talk about in our office now is like our C-suite team, including me as CEO, like we didn't go to CEO school. Like we never hired a CEO. I didn't hire, I didn't hire a professional CEO. I didn't hire a professional this, that, or the other. We're like all learning this job on the fly. But I do
Mm.
think that scale to the multi-office, multi-state, I think that's another new skill set that like probably is best served by someone who has done that before.
Yeah, there's a point. I feel like the entrepreneur's role in small business is a lot of times you got to wear a ton of hats. And that can be challenging to be an expert, or impossible to be an expert at all things. Like you can't be a CEO and a CFO and a CMO
At
and a,
the beginning, you are. At the beginning,
at the
that's the
beginning,
most
especially.
romantic period of any business is I remember when there was three of us in a room eating pizza, staying up all night. Like those are all the best, most romantic times. But in reality, that actually sucked and it's better now. You need to get to a point where you're like, we need a professional at each stage. And are we going to grow internally because they understand the culture? Or are we going to go externally because they have the skills? And you have to decide how you want to do that.
What about that time sucked?
I mean, mostly because like you're working, you have no money, and you're making no money, and you really aren't sure if anything you're doing is really going to work.
Yeah. If that was all I knew, I'd be like, why did you keep going?
Yeah, it almost makes no sense to start your own business, right? But at the same time, it's thrilling and like you're either like I don't know, elated or scared as an entrepreneur. Like I'm never comfortable. It's either up or down. It's like a bipolar emotion.
Mhm. Well, it is, and it is stressful to take the risk and have all these big decisions to make. But I think, I don't know, everybody has stress in their life and in their profession. And I think one of the best things about, or comparing like a physician working in a giant hospital system to like an entrepreneur, self employed, or even building your own practice physician is when you have those problems that come up, inevitable problems and stressors, you can solve them. Like you're actually responsible for solving them.
Yeah, but you're
And
also responsible for creating them.
correct, you're creating new ones all the time. Like you're like swimming in problems actually, but it's different.
Listen, our job, I think all leaders' job, the number one skill I believe in a leader is like emotional stability. Like you need to stay calm no matter how good something is or how bad something is. Like someone's got to be like the rock in the room. There's a great story about Ulysses S. Grant, who's like one of my favorite like American history, if you're a history buff people. He's getting a picture taken. I can't remember the name of the photographer, but like famous photographer after the war, and they're in this room and the photographer goes, well, go up and like open the skylight to his assistant because like there's not enough light. The guy goes up, he's playing on the roof, the whole glass roof comes down and shatters. And like apparently Grant doesn't flinch, like it doesn't like this glass on his whole body, it doesn't move. And he's like, I have somewhere to be, just take the picture. Like, and he like cool as a cucumber, like stillness is built in. I think the Brits call it being squared away and or having the right stuff. And like that is where leadership is, because if you're an emotional roller coaster and everyone in your business is an emotional roller coaster, it doesn't work. Someone's got to calm everyone down.